Yo, hey, so, oh boy, another behind the scenes where there have been no real scenes. I've uploaded a few videos from many years past. So this year hasn't gone sort of exactly the way I wanted it to go. So obviously, start of the year I came out and hey, these are plans that I sort of want to look through. This is me going to figure out, what I want to do in the film industry. Learning to work with camera, speaking to a lens, working through that as though you're talking to somebody, being open and honest with where you're at, sort of in this space, where I'm at in this space, and so looking at that in perspective with, I suppose, the timeline that I sort of had that, that I'd be well and truly into it this year. Of course, we're all aware that life finds a way to, get itself in the way of your plans. Which is what life is. So figuring out as I go along with that, juggling the ups and downs, mood swings, emotional resilience and sort of levels of moving on through life with where you're at, where I'm at personally, and putting things in perspective. A lot of this year has sort of just been, again, getting myself to a place where I can be proud of the level that I operate under. So I have had a lot of personal struggles come up, and I've overcome a lot of them in terms of where I'm at. Last year, I sort of just wasn't dealing with things at all, pushing things off, and so obviously at the end of last year, I sort of said, enough is enough. I'm going to actually start moving towards the projects, the directions in life that I want to start taking. So hence, Christmas Day last year made the first behind the scenes video on this channel that sort of said, hey, this is the plan, this is where I'm moving forward. And so then, a good month or two of motivation into that, I actually kept up with the behind the scenes videos, and I, of course put on track one of the first couple of how-tos. Wasn't real proud of at the end result of that video, but again, that was just very sort of haphazard, just, hey, doing something to sort of put something out there. And I know that's sort of the way that you do got to start getting stuff out there, is just make it and then learn through that process of what works, what doesn't work. And that is, again, the point of this channel, right, of being a big dingus, acknowledging that you've got to know nothing, start somewhere and move towards doing something with that. So, I've got a cheap-ass webcam, crappy microphone, but they record the bare minimum, right? And so I haven't really put any sort of money into it, and I put minimal effort and, of course, just the time to record. So that's sort of the level that I operate under and have been most of this year, right? And so in this, from that moving forward, I've started to put up old videos, which, of course, proud of the fact that I have started to work through old hard drives, old files, and figuring out where I have tried things in the past, what worked, what didn't work, why I sort of gave up, why I was a bit haphazard in my approach to this, and I'm just sort of putting it all out there to say, hey, this is sort of the repository of what started. So that's, again, still my plan for the next couple of months, because, again, juggling life, juggling work, juggling family, juggling other commitments, trying to figure that all out over the next couple of months. So I'm really hoping that here we are, sort of mid to end of August, September. By October, I sort of really want to be done with the old repository that's sort of up there, and then October, hopefully really focusing on, hey, revisiting what I wanted a lot of the new content to sort of look like in me figuring out, obviously projects, so editing stuff, screenwriting, reading scripts, understanding how to have an idea in your head, how to storyboard it, put it out there, and produce a work of art. So again, maybe I will pick a project come then, maybe I will just, again, revisit a particular avenue of this line of work that I, whether it is just editing old videos or whether it is writing scripts or storyboarding, something like that, figuring out which aspect of production I want to work on, or whether it's just taking all of what I know about the bare minimums of those facets of production and putting that into one piece. Maybe that's what I start with. I'll figure that out come October, but again, it's just next couple months of putting old stuff out there, right? And again, last week I spoke about this is the process of leading with vulnerability, right? I don't know what I'm doing in this space. I'm figuring it out as we go along, right? And that's the whole point of this, is not to try and say, hey, look at this end result, how amazing it is, but it's the, hey, here's the really clunky project it takes to get to somewhere that you're happy with, or at least competently able to say, this is something that I produced, that I made, or that I worked on, and then be proud of those efforts to then say, hey, okay, well, here's where I can improve from it, takes you to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, till again, where you're actually in the industry. And through that process is where you are going to find your passion, where you're going to find your joy in what you want to do. So that's the plan as it stands for now. So I'm really hoping, again, next couple of months, figuring that out, putting that out. So come, August, September, that's the figuring it out, putting in the old videos, whatever I can, just to say, hey, here's old content, what can I do with it? To then, what do I need to learn from what I've already done on and off in the past, decade and a half, to then, of being an adult, of figuring out, okay, what do I actually want to move into in this space? Again, with the fact that I do have a career and I do have skills, maybe I can use a way to put, some of those interpersonal skills that I have in working with people, in working in education, in working in community development. How do I put that knowledge into a way that can be understood differently, produced, obviously, and internet content, right? So still a lot to sort of figure out. That will be hopefully come October's job, and then so November, December is a lot more of like, okay, well, here's the project, or here's the facet, or here's the line of work that I'm going to be focusing on. Produce something. End of year, hopefully look at that and go, sweet, this is sort of the package of what this year's looked like. Clear myself up a lot, behind camera, and then obviously producing the film work in front of camera. And again, whether that's me being central to that, or me figuring out a platform in which I can put ideas and voiceovers and whatever onto a project, I'll figure that out. So again, no real direction, and that's something that I'm okay with. But for now, but by the end of the year, I really sort of want to have this is the direction I'm working on, and even if it's just a month project at a time, if that's the particular direction I want to work in, that's what I want to work towards. So being open and honest, it's been 8 months now of promising that I'll do something. I have started to lead with some of these vulnerabilities about this is where I've come from the past, this is me really not knowing what I'm doing. Again, heck, my room is fucking messy, man. And that just, again, shows sort of the state of the head, and I'm really hoping, again, over the next couple of months, this is how I'm going to sort of figure out my life, figure out how I'm going to produce things that I'm capable of saying, hey, outside world, this is me leaving my room, this is me leaving my space that I'm not really getting things sorted in. So that's what I'm looking towards, and I really appreciate you coming on this journey with me, and I look forward to seeing where it takes us. Alright, have a great day. Thanks.